Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Justin Brown. I hope you all are having a blessed day. A lot of people have been waiting for this video, and it's specifically dealing with government contracts. There are a lot of ways to get paid by the government. I'd rather work with the government than me work for the government. So that's two different things. Either you can work with the government or you can work for the government. So you have to decide which person you want to be. You want to be the leader or you want to be the follower. You got to decide. So if I work for the government, I'm only getting paid 1 or 2 paychecks a month. If I'm working with the government, then I'm getting paid 10 times a month or 15 times a month. So because I work with the government, I'm able to get paid 10 times a month. So if I go back to the military, I'm going backwards. And there's no way that the military will be able to pay me as much as I'm paying now. I'd rather the military work for me than me work for the military. And that's what my recruiter told me. Work for yourself. Take care of yourself. You do all these phenomenal things and great things, and I guarantee you're going to be successful. Sometimes I get the feeling just because I'm black or just because I'm around the same age as somebody, they think that we're on the same frequency. But I just had somebody that's supposed to install some water filters for this veterans facility, this government facility. And he was getting an attitude saying, I ain't got time to hear all that bull, SHIT. Because, when they pull your credit, when they pull your credit, whenever you apply for filters, which are like $7,000, when you apply for filters, they do a credit. And then I saw my credit report that application is going to stay on my credit report till 2023. So I told him, I was going to talk to his manager to get that removed. And he didn't understand that. He didn't understand when I said I'm going to talk to his manager, I'm going to get that off my credit report. He thought that I was going to get him in trouble, which was small-minded. This is business. This is different. It's not working a job. This is business. So I needed to have that taken off my credit report. And so he got a little attitude saying, I ain't got time for this bull, SHIT. I say, hey, man, you got to always, when you working for somebody, you got to be humble at all times. Be humble at all times, especially if that person is a customer. This was from yesterday. And I say, you know what I'm praying for, you know what I'm saying? Stay out of trouble and have a blessed day. He didn't say anything after that. So sometimes, that's just a plain example. Sometimes when people around the same age as you, they think that they can say whatever they want to say. This guy worked for I don't want to get people in trouble, you know what I'm saying, especially if that's their only job. But you never speak profanity towards a customer, especially this is a business that needs it. And so he definitely could have gotten in trouble for that. So I told him, you know what, I'm going to act like this didn't happen. I'm going to act like I didn't hear no profanity, and you have a blessed day. But I just want to use that as an example right there. People think just because you're around the same age as them, that automatically means you're on the same frequency. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with it. It's about the mindset. The mindset is a lot different. Like if my dad had me in his 20s, I'd be 54 years old. So I act like I'm in my 50s, even though I'm 30. Even though in my early 30s, I act like I'm in my 50s. All my siblings, my cousins and stuff like that, they're in their 50s. And so since those are my siblings, I'm expected to be on a higher level of frequency. Just because I'm in my early 30s, it doesn't mean I'm going to act like other millennials. I can't do that. I got a business to run. You know what I'm saying? So keep on doing phenomenal things and great things. Listen, you can do this. A lot of people like to brag about what the houses that they have and how much money they're making. But check this out. This is what I want. And I'm speaking to the younger. I'm speaking to the people in their 20s, people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, don't brag about your job. I'm making $100,000 a year. If you're making less than $100,000 a year, you are considered poor. Now, you can afford to live in Texas. You can afford to stay in Texas and be good making that kind of money in Texas. But in general, if you're making less than $100,000 a year, and if you're living in California, you're poor. And most people won't even look at your application. So, I'm just like that. I'm just showing some tough love. This is real talk. But I just want to let you all know. I want to go ahead and get back to it. Do not brag about how much you're making on your job if you're not making that same amount working for yourself. So, for example, if you're making $100,000 a year at your job, right? Don't brag about it if you're not making $100,000 a year running your own business. Well, that's different. If you're making $100,000 a year running a business, then that means you're on a different level. That means you can brag about that. Some people still wouldn't brag about it, but you can brag about that because that's your money and that's not other people's money. Don't brag about other people's money. Brag about your money. Don't brag about the business you're working for. Brag about the business that you own. As a matter of fact, let the Lord brag about you. Let the Lord brag about you. Don't talk about, and again, don't brag about your job and how much money you make if you're not making that same amount of money working the job. Don't brag about the degree you have if you're not making six figures. That degree, a college degree is supposed to be making you six figures. And if you don't know how to utilize that degree to its full potential, don't brag about it. I just want to say this. A degree is not meant for you to work a job. A degree is meant for you to do something like this. Get on government contracts and run your own business. Like this. Counseling, Christian counseling, mentorship, and taking care of military veterans and senior citizens. This is what a degree is for. Having a government contracted business that can take care of itself, so it can be able to do things you want to do, which might be movie producing or music producing, and you have time to do that. But first, you have to get a government contracted business. So that's one, is running something like this, a senior living home, a military veterans home. That's a government contracted business. Another now this is a big government contracted business. So this pays about 10. You get paid about 10 times a month running a business like this. So you can afford to brag about that because people need to do that. People need to run business like this. Now, in order to run a business like this, you need to have a primary home. You need to have a secondary home. So you got to have one of your investment properties, and it has to be able to functional. They're gonna check it out. They're gonna inspect it. The city's gonna come by. The state's gonna come by. They're gonna check. They have some sprinkler systems. Sprinkler systems can cost around $10,000. You got to make sure the restrooms. You got to have all that stuff redesigned. You got to have alarm systems. That can cost up to $10,000. So we're at plus tax. So we're at $30,000 so far for the sprinkler system and for the alarm system. What else? Security. Don't forget the security system. That can cost $10,000 for tax. Now we're at $40,000. You see how quickly we got at $40,000? Need to have some gates installed, iron bar gates installed. That can cost around $17,000. That's a lot. It's a lot for the average person. Because it can go up to $100,000 real quick. The minimum. This is the minimum. This is where grants come into place. Make sure you got yourself a small business where you can file some 1040s and some 1080s for your employees, so you can be able to qualify for grants. Wise Commercial Lending is giving out grants all the way up to $2 million. Again, that's Wise Commercial Lending. Make sure to write that down. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and get straight to it. And then we're going to go ahead and go to some other parts. But right now we're still on this. So to be able to run a business like this can cost around $1 million. And anybody tell you that in order to have a veterans facility, it costs $1 million. But again, the benefits are it can generate anywhere from $50,000 all the way up to $200,000. You can get up anywhere from $50,000 a year to $200,000 a year. Because if you have 10 veterans, if like I said, there's 10 people here, and so each veteran is paying $1,000. That's $10,000. That's $10,000 a month. And then, but after that, but in general, even getting paid $10,000 a month, you're only going to be able to have half of that for yourself. The other $50,000 is going towards this business and rebuilding and remodeling this business. So Yeah, so to cover the cost, that's so I mean that's good. Say, oh, $100,000. Actually, I want to be making more than $100,000. That way, I can have more than $50,000 for myself. Because $50,000 is not a lot. But again, that's next level stuff. Because I'm making an additional $50,000 without having to work a job. If I was working a job, I'd have to show up to work every day. You see what I'm saying? But the $50,000, the additional $50,000, $50,000 doesn't seem like a lot, but you can do a lot with $50,000, and you have a lot of time on your hands. See, that's different. That gives me time to be able to study and do med school and law school and stuff like that, or whatever. I'm just saying example. I'm not gonna let y'all know what I'm doing on the side. But when my dad, before this business was my dad, he was studying towards his doctorate degree, and he had time to be able to do that while running this business. Because guess what? It's like you're getting paid, but like Warren Buffett said, and I'm not gonna get off topic. You need a business that you can be able to manage, that you can be able to go to sleep, that you can be able to take your time with, that doesn't cost, that it doesn't require too much out of you. If you can't make money while you sleep, then that is not the right business that you need to be in. Again, I'm gonna say that again. If you cannot make money while you sleep, then that is not the right type of business you need to be in. All right, cool. So if you got 10 veterans in your secondary home and you're charging each of them $1,000 a month, that's $10,000. Now, what if you have a fully disabled veteran on a wheelchair and can't walk? That's anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. So one veteran is generating in some facilities, one fully disabled veteran can be around $50,000. Anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a year just for one veteran. Imagine if you have 10 of those. We had a fully disabled veteran. That's why we got a ramp on the other side. And then this is the West Wing right here. We have a different business. We have a different type of business, which is a lending business where we give out loans and stuff like that. That's on the East Wing. But this is the West Wing. On the West Wing, strictly government. So yeah, I'm starting another business on that side because this one is already off the ground. So if your business is off the ground, you got enough freedom and enough time to do something else. Make sense? Otherwise, you be stuck working a job. You want to be stuck working a job the rest of your life? I'm just trying. I mean, that's what I'm just trying to pinpoint that. Do you want to be stuck working a job for the rest of your life? Think about that. Do you want to be stuck working a job for the rest of your life? Why are you working so hard to make money? Again, why are you working so hard to make money? Why are you working so hard and your money should be working hard for you? If your money is not working hard for you, you're not going to make it. You won't have time to accomplish your dreams and your goals if you're too busy working hard for a piece of paper. And the piece of paper is supposed to be working for you. That's how you be successful. Let the piece of paper work for you. In order for the piece of paper to work for you, you got to open up your arms and be a sharing and be a giving person. Get your set. Like I said, this is my grandmother's property. And we made sure to get my grandmother's property government contracted. And because my grandmother's property is government contracted, the house is paid off. Everything is paid off. It's making so much money that you can just open up. We got another building. And then we're going to get another building. And then we're going to get another building. Once your property is paid off, keep this business. And then use that money to start another business. That's where we want to be at. But it didn't happen overnight. I mean, I remember when me and my dad started this business, man, I wasn't even in the military at the time. This was before I joined the military. I had to at least have been, I was probably around 21 years old, 21 or 23, something like around. I'll say about 23. And I just made 34. in December. So it's been about 10 and a half. It's been about 10 years and 3 months. So I've been running this. I've been helping to run this. I've been doing community service a lot longer, but I've been doing this for at least 10 years. This business, this building here, 10 years. So expect to not get paid or have any solid income for 10 years. Stick with it. I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a liar. You haven't done this before. You haven't done that. You don't need to prove yourself to nobody. Because just the mere fact of me actually being here means I'm actually doing the work. That's different. That's different. This is community service. It's community service, and at the same time, I'm still getting paid. You can't beat that. If you can do community service, you can relax whenever you want to, go to sleep wherever you want to, and still get paid. That's what you want to. That's what you want to do. So, in order to do that, get involved in real estate. Get involved in real estate. Learn about government contracts. Save up your money. Buy some secondary houses. Buy some investment properties. Start off in places like Fifth Ward, Third Ward, Second Ward, and even properties are going up here. So you got to be ahead of the game. You can't go to Bel Air or go to the Woodlands or go to Beverly Hills yet. You got to work your way up. Work your way up to the urban areas. Then go to Champions Drive. Then work your way up to the Woodlands, and then work your way up to Beverly Hills. And then you can work. Then you can say that. But you got to start at the South Side before you're in the East Coast, before you're in California, Massachusetts, or wherever you want to be at. You want to be on the rich side of town. That's fine. You want to have some government contracts on the rich side of town, but you got to start somewhere. You got to have a foundation to go back to. Because what if your business in Beverly Hills doesn't work out, or in San Francisco? Then you got to come back to Texas. Or what if your business didn't work out in New York? Guess what? You got to come back to Texas. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even the richest man in the world, the owner of Tesla, has to come to Texas because the cost of living and the taxes, the business taxes, are so high in California. See, in Texas, there's no taxes here in Texas. There are taxes in California, business tax in California, and they're really high. So you have to come back to Texas. I have to come back to Texas. If I have to come back, rich, like I said, and on the last video I was saying, and I'm going to go ahead and get back to the next different type of government contracts, but let me go ahead and finish this. Listen, the richest people in the world are moving into Texas as a secondary form of business. And I've been talking about this for a long time. It's almost on low battery mode. The richest people in the world are moving to Texas because of the benefits. That you get bigger benefits, and the tax benefits are a lot higher. But you get what I'm saying? You got to start somewhere. The money got to be coming from somewhere. So a lot of these people are already making money in California, in New York, in the UK, and places like that. But they're still living in Texas because it's one of the best places to live at, and there's less taxes. So what's going to happen when all of these people move here? You got to be prepared. You got to have a government contracted business or something like this. What's going to happen to you? You won't be able to work that $100,000 that you're bragging about. You won't be able to have that $100,000 no more. That $100,000, that $50,000 job is about to be bought out by a billionaire from California or New York. That business that you have, that land that business is at, is about to be bought out. Because the business owner can't afford to keep up with all these billionaires that's coming from California. They're going to buy that business. They're going to buy that building. And you're going to be without a job. Unless you plan ahead and get yourself a government contracted business that can stabilize you in the meantime. The economy is crashing. The economy already crashed last year. Twice. Nobody told y'all that. Some people don't even know that. The economy crashed due to the coronavirus. The economy crashed and people was out of jobs. Not too long ago. There's about to be another. There's still blizzard. The ecosystem has changed. There's still blizzardy weather. There's still the coronavirus going on. People are still out of jobs, and some businesses won't be able to recover. Listen, you got your job right now, but listen, this is the 21st century. Okay, you need to have something like this that can stabilize you to be prepared. A lot of people was without jobs. So a lot of people lost their jobs and a lot of people lost their lives last week because they wasn't better prepared. And that is so sad. I feel so bad. I feel so sorry for the grandmother and the grandchildren that lost their lives in that blizzard. Once the electricity came back on, the house exploded, and there was a heavy fire. So that's why real estate is so important. You got to be ahead of the game because you got to be prepared for this. Everybody knew that this was coming. They just chose to forgot it. They just voluntarily chose to forget about it. They waited for it to happen. And these politicians should be ashamed of themselves because they was informed about this blizzard and the ecosystem changing 10 years ago. But they chose to not handle this business correctly. And because they did not plan and they was informed about it 10 years ago, now there's all this disaster and people still recovering. And there's no hot water or no water at all. And some people, I guarantee some people still don't have electricity in their houses. Electricity and no hot water. Or no hot water or no water at all. That's miserable. So all those people that was talking trash 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, they're not talking trash no more. I guarantee it. And some of them was talking a lot of trash, and now their water's busted. We got water here. The high school classmates that was talking trash about me, their water's busted. They don't got no water. They don't got no hot water. And some of them is without a job. So I'll be all right. Yeah, guess what? Your house is not paid off. Yeah, you at your house and you ain't got no water. You struggling right now because you only got one job. You can't survive off of one job. One job is not going to pay all the bills. Uncle Sam is not going to solve every single problem that you have. It doesn't work like that. You want to be able to pay $30,000 towards a car, 50, 100, or do the same things I can do, or $50,000 down towards a car, or buy a house without it financially hurting you, then you have to do the same things that I have to do. But if you are not willing to do that, you're going to stay at the same level you're at. You have to make a choice. You have to make a choice. Do you want to stay at the same level that you're at for the rest of your life? You know, my great-grandparents and my grandparents died poor. And, you know, somebody told me it's not your fault if you're born poor, but it's your fault if you die poor. But I got my own version. It's not your fault if you're born poor and born ignorant, but it's your fault if you die ignorant and if you die poor. That is your fault. So you need to make a choice today. When I said I was going to be self-employed, I made up my mind. You got to know that you know that you know. You got to know that you're going to make it. You have to know that you know you're going to make it. It's not just going to happen overnight. You got to know that you're going to make it. When we started this business, I didn't look back. I don't have time to be working no job. I don't have time to be working a job. I'm going to an Ivy League college and running this business on the side. Actually, I'm going to 2 Ivy League colleges and I'm running this business on the side. Doing this for 10 years. Working 10 to 17 hours a day. Doing this, grinding. Sometimes I got to sleep here to be able to get this business done. I got to sleep here sometimes. But are you motivated to sleep at your business? When you're running a government contract, when you're not able to afford to have employees, are you willing to sacrifice your time and do this? So don't brag about your job and how much your job is paying you if you're not getting paid the same amount running a business, working for yourself. And that's different. I feel good that I'm able to get paid and sit at my desk. A desk that belongs to me. A chair that belongs to me. An office that belongs to me. Not to somebody else. If somebody is paying me to work with them, if somebody else is paying me, I'm getting paid from somebody else's money, it better be a customer or it better be a partner. Because I'm not working for no employer. My only employer is God. That is the only person in the older version of myself, the 70-year-old version of myself, the 50-year-old version, the 50-year-old version of myself. That's who I'm working with. I'm working with myself and I'm working for the Lord. That's the only person you should be working for, is working for God. Your employer has already fulfilled his goal. He already done what he was supposed to do. What are you doing? Don't stop watching other people and what other people doing. Stop watching other people. Take care of yourself. You know, I heard somebody, that I barely knew from high school. Somebody I barely knew from high school telling me that I'm retarded and that you don't have your own business and that you're not, you're not taking care of veterans, or you don't drive fancy cars. Somebody I barely know from high school. Think about it. He barely knew me. The man knows nothing about me or what I do. But you know what? I will say this. I can afford to brag. But I'm not a bragging person. I'm not that type of person. But I will say this. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4 properties in Houston and 1, 2, 3 properties in California. 4 properties in Houston, 3 properties in California. And I'm making more money with this business, running this business, than I am working a job. So I can afford to say something about that. Now, if I was working a job, I wouldn't be bragging about that, because I'm working for somebody. But if I'm running the business and getting paid, I can afford to brag about that, because that's my money and nobody else's money, except between me and God. That's my money. So when you got your own business and you're not working for nobody, then you can brag. You can brag about that. Now, the only reason that if you want to work for somebody, you need to be a loan officer, or learn how to give out loans to people, or learn about banking and investing. Now, that's different, because you're learning to establish your own bank. You're learning how to be a lender. You're learning how to open up your own bank and lend people money. That's the only reason somebody should be working for somebody. If we've been in this country for 4 or 5 generations, or more than that, some people more than that. If you've been in this country for 4 or 5 generations, you should have your own lending company. I'll say that again. If you've been in this country for 4 or 5 generations, every family should have their own lending company in some form or fashion. And if you pass that fact, then you should have a bank. You should be the lender, not the borrower. You should be ahead, not behind. You're supposed to be working with people, not working for people. So when we have some people here, like some of the one of my personal bodyguards that has a Christian security company, I believed in him when a lot of people call him delusional. I believed in him. Now he's making progress. I'm one of his first investors. And because I said I was going to invest in this company, other people took him seriously. See, when you have people supporting you, other people are going to take you seriously. It's crazy, huh? It's crazy how quickly people can make a 360 and turn around and want to be your friend just because you got money. It's crazy, right? Where was you at when I didn't have my own business like this? Where was you at when I was financially struggling? Now all of a sudden you quiet. there's a certain commercial building, a certain commercial property that had a lot of land on it that I featured on my old channel. Some of you all seen it. My buyer's agent calls me every day to see what the progress is. Step one, phase one, phase one, phase two, phase three. My buyer's agent, he motivates me every day. If there's a property I want to look at, how can we get it? How can we do? What do we need to do? What grants we need to apply for? That's the type of people you want to have in your circle. I'm about to contact my buyer's agent in a little bit, but those are the type of people you want to have in your circle. And so it is an honor and it is a blessing to be able to, if you want to have something, change who you hang out with. You want to be rich? You need to have rich friends. Rich friends that's rich in the heart and rich in the mind. If my friend is, that's the type of people I hang out with. And maybe you need to make my friends your friends. Maybe that, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to have your own business and not have to work another job a day in your life, then maybe my friends needs to be your friends. And that'll probably change your perspective. But this is where everybody should be at. There's still a coronavirus going on. There's a blizzard going on. And it's not financially affecting me at all. I'm super chill right now. I'm good. If I want to start YouTubing and start streaming on my gaming account, or if I want to start, I don't know, if I want to buy a car, if I want to buy another Mercedes, or if I want to go buy a Bentley, or whatever the case might be, I don't have anything holding me back from doing that. I don't have any burdens holding me back from doing that. That's where we're supposed to be at. This is the land of the free. You're supposed to have the freedom to choose whatever you want to do. So if you don't have the freedom to choose whatever you want to do, that's not God's fault. That's nobody else's fault. That's nobody else's fault. Just because somebody chooses to do greater things than you do, then you need to choose, then you need to have people in your inner circle that can help you establish to do that. Nick Shepard. Other people like that. NBA players I get motivation from. That I connect with. When you go to a lot of meetings, you get to meet a lot of important people. I go to meetings all the time. I meet all kinds of people. When I wanted to open a private funding account, I learned about opening private funding accounts for businesses like this, and that's how I met an NBA player. And now he motivates me every day. And you know, my dad was surprised at how you know an NBA player. It happens. You never know who you might when you humble yourself. When you humble yourself, you never know. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. That's why you gotta always be on your A game. And always be an humble person. Because you never know. You never know who's watching you. And so I continued to stay that way for 10 years. It took a long time, but after 10 years, it's starting to pay off. Everybody said, oh, you broke, you need to get a job. There are no jobs that pay enough to stay in this economy. There are no jobs right now. I even see people I see doctors and attorneys living in Houston, but their properties is in California on Airbnb. In Los Angeles in Airbnb. But they don't live in Los Angeles. They live in Oklahoma or Texas. Because they can't afford to stay there. But these people from Dubai, they come and they use Airbnb on their house. And they're able to stay in there, and they rent $30,000 a month or $50,000 a month to live in Los Angeles on the Airbnb. But those doctors, they don't live in Los Angeles. They live in Texas, or they chill in Texas. I'm talking, and again, I'm not trying to go from subject to subject, but I'm talking to different genres of people. I'm able to relate to people, younger people and older people. So I like to talk about different things. Now, we talked about the problems and we talked about the solutions. Now, and I didn't mean to get off topic for 35 minutes, but let's go ahead and go to the different type of contracts that are available. You can start your own cleaning company and get contracted. You can start your own cleaning company. Get your LLC, go to irs.gov, get your corporate S license or your corporate C license. What I like about the corporate C license is that you pay more taxes, but it keeps the IRS off your back. Corporate S licenses, you pay less taxes, but you don't have complete control over your business. And I'm just giving facts. It is what it is. Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. Well, it is what it is. When you're in government contract, when you're running a government contracted business and get paid by the government, or what the government is paying you, then you're supposed to have complete responsibility. When you're running a business like this, and you're getting paid 10, or if you're getting paid 10, more than 10, at least 10 times a month, or more than 10 times a month, running a government contracted business like this, you need to have complete control over it. That's why a corporate C license is very important. All right. So again, the maintenance, having a cleaning business. The third one is having some type of counseling business. Getting your doctorate, doing some kind of counseling business. The fourth one, hey, you can be an orthodontist or you can be a dentist. You get contracted. I see people all the time. And I see a lot of people, they get contracted and they get deployed. A friend of mine named Dr. James Askew was a doctor, and he has a doctorate in counseling. And so he'll counsel a lot of active duty people that had post-traumatic stress disorder. And he said a whole lot more people die in the reserves than they do on active duty. I found that hard to believe, but from his perspective, based on the people that he took care of, that was true. But it's good to have people like that can help motivate people and encourage one another, especially if they're having thoughts of suicide. So that's a good business to get government contract. Now you got to go to usajobs.gov and then go to contracts and look at all the government contractor positions that they have that's available. So you can get a medic. So in the medical field, it's very psychologically and physically, it's needed. I see a lot of people that are contracted that are on there's the osteopathic side and the osteopathic and the allelopathic and osteopathic side of medicine. Now the allelopathic side, that deals with surgery and stuff like that. The osteopathic side, that deals like with non-surgical procedures. So osteopathic doctor is the person that deals with psychological issues or mentoring, stuff like that. Allelopathic side deals with surgery. So, and then most people want you to be actually in the military if you are a allelopathic doctor that deals with surgery, such as a brain surgeon, neurosurgeon, plastic surgeon. Those are called those are allelopathic type doctors. Osteopathic sides are people like that focus on ministry and Christian counseling and stuff like that, and psychiatric and psychological disorders. All right, cool. I've never heard of, on my side, I've never heard of contracted attorneys, but you can always look on usajobs.gov and see if that's available. Let's see, what else can I think of? You can have a food contracted business, and you can be donating a lot of food to military veterans and senior citizens. So if you got a food business, yeah, that's awesome. Take advantage of that completely. Take advantage of that. There's so much that you can do. There's so much. I'm gonna turn this back on. Yeah, there's so many things you can do. I mean, that's just so awesome. So go to usajobs.gov and check that out today. And listen, I just want you all to have a blessed day. I'm going to go ahead and end this video unless I'm led in a different direction. But never leave a place without making it better than what you left it. I want to say that again. Never leave a place without making it better. And that's my saying for 2021. Never leave a business, never leave a place without making it better than what you left it. Never leave a place like this. Never leave a business like this without making it better than what you left it. That's so important. If you do that with the humble spirit, with the humble mindset, I guarantee you'll be successful. Because guess what? Your words can only take you far. But other people's words can take you further. References can take you further. When I ran for mayor, I had references from Houston, Texas that can say that I did the work. And that's the problem. We have politicians without no references, have no idea where they came from or what they've done. So again, when you're doing community service or running a government contracted business and making money, this is what people look for. And if you're in the military, I guess I'm being led in a different direction. And I guess if you're in the military, you're trying to be a general or something like this, you need to have a government contracted business. This is what people look for when promoting people to generals. If you're officer, if you're a captain, first lieutenant, captain, what else? Colonel, full bird colonel. You want to be a general, right? And you want to be able to speed up that process, right? You need to have government contracted businesses because that shows how responsible you are in managing a company and managing a group of veterans and managing a group of military personnel outside of the military. It's not about what you do in the military. It's about what you do outside of the military. And I'm gonna put that on the description below on the comment section. It's not about what you do. It's not about what you do in the military. It is about what you do outside of the military. Don't just take care of veterans inside the military and say what you do, because nobody can see what you're doing. Nobody can see what you're doing after drill is over. What are you doing in your community for military veterans and senior citizens outside of that base? With people, and what are you doing for other military veterans? That's what they want to see. Every single room in this contracted building, in this government contracted building, every single person is a military veteran. I have some people. I have some American. I even have an Ethiopian Navy veteran who's from Ethiopia. Not just Americans. I have one Ethiopian veteran here who's a Navy veteran. That's what people want to see. People that can take care of people that's coming into this country to help to make this country better. That's what they want to look at. What other genres? So that's presidential stuff right there. It's presidential stuff. When you're able to take care of people outside of your comfort zone. So, man, that's just big, man. That's just big. I really do thank God for this opportunity. And I'm able to do I'm able to do so much more. I'm able to serve my country. I'm able to serve my country on a greater standard because I'm taking care of military veterans in this area, in this city. We've taken care of hundreds of military personnel, and there's no way I would have been able to do that because I was in the military and I was doing this outside of the military. I was doing two different things for the military at the same time. Nobody knew I was doing this. Nobody knew I was doing this. But what are you doing for your military veterans and your senior citizens right now? You need to ask yourself that. Don't brag about your rank. And now I'm switching the subject. We've already talked about government contracted businesses that you can search for at usajobs.gov. But now we're moving on to the next topic about people in the military right now. So don't brag about your rank. Don't brag. If you're an officer in the military, don't brag about your rank unless you're doing something like this. Period. Period. Don't brag about your rank. Nobody cares about your credentials. How's your rank? Your rank is not enough to be able to serve this entire city or serve this country to the full extent. You use it. Nobody cares about your credentials at that base you're at. What are you doing right now to serve all generations of veterans? What hundreds of veterans have you taken care of to be able to qualify you to be able to be a general or to be a politician or work in the White House? What references do you have? What references have you made? See here. Let me show you. On that side, on that wall, where that second computer's at, is a letter from Michelle Obama. See, this is what you call a reference here. I can make this letter a reference. Right here is a letter from Michelle Obama and a picture from her. Because Michelle Obama did this kind of work too. So nobody can say that I didn't do this, that I didn't do that. Because, and that's what I want to tell you, you never know who's watching you. Never know who's watching you. Because Michelle Obama is watching me. Michelle Obama is watching what I'm doing. Serving the community, taking care of military veterans. And that's more powerful than any rank in the military. When you're able to get recognized from the commander, from the former commander-in-chief, the first African-American First Lady of the United States of America. Nobody can tell you anything different. I don't need nobody to say that I'm a liar. Because I just got recognized by the first lady of the first African-American First Lady of the United States. I can say that. Actually, I don't like to use the word I. We can say that. You know, it is so ignorant. It is so stupid. People don't want to look. People don't want to talk about, a lot of people, I see a lot of people, they rather see other people with money instead of them looking at how to make money. What are you doing to make money? Right? Those people that driving those Lambos all the time, I guarantee they're not going to tell you how they made that money. But I guarantee, those rich people, they watch me. Like Maxim Trubisky, another millionaire from Los Angeles. He's a multimillionaire. But guess what? He still talks to me. When it comes to motivational and encouragement and stuff like that, we talk personally. I talk to him at least about 3 times a month. How you doing, man? How you recovering from your surgery? Is everything doing all right? You have a blessed day, man. You have an anointing in your life. Don't worry about it. You're trying to motivate other people. They don't want to listen to you. You keep on going. Keep on striving. Keep on doing great things and phenomenal things. I motivate that dude every time I get a chance to. When I look at Tall Guy car reviews, or if I look at what's his name? Nate Got Keys, and it's always good. Those are the type of people I talk to. Those are the type of people I talk to. There's a lot of people in Los Angeles and Houston I talk to. I talk to those type of people. People that's doing something. You feel me? 2021 should be your year. 2021 should be your year. Your only friends on social media should be billionaires, millionaires, pastors, bishops. I mean, those are the only type of people you need to be. Pastors, bishops, millionaires, and billionaires. Those are the only type of people you should have on your Facebook account. I mean, that's because right now you need all the prayer you can get, right? Billionaires, millionaires, pastors, and leaders. I guarantee. I get, and you know, it don't even bother me, you know. And just to change the subject, and I'm going to end with this. I'm still gonna stay the humble person, regardless if I'm in the Woodlands, or if I'm in Beverly Hills, or if I'm on Champions, or even if I'm in Fifth Ward. I'm still the same person. I'm still the same humble person. It don't bother me. I had a Uber driver a couple months ago. He said, how the heck you move from a mansion in Champions Drive and I drop you off here in Fifth Ward? The land is land, property is property. It don't bother me. All I got to do is get some is open up a exotic car dealership or a luxury car dealership in Fifth Ward. That's all I got to do. So it don't even bother me one bit. I know who's investing because I know who's investing on the rich side of town, and I know and those same rich people are investing in Fifth Ward. I guarantee it. So it don't bother me. If other wealthy people are investing in Fifth Ward, then why should it bother me? They investing in it. You got rich people. You got rich people buying properties in Fifth Ward and collecting rent. So why should I be? And they're motivated to they're more motivated to invest in Fifth Ward than black people. And that's what I don't get right there. That's what I don't get. I've received so much negativity and ignorance from our own people. From our own people. Saying, you know, I don't get that. Us as a people of color, we got to change. A lot of people say white people are racist. I've never had any racist or prejudiced moments with white people a day in my life. Especially when it came to money and investing and building the community, making this community better. The only people I've ever had prejudice and racist moments and ignorant moments with is my own people. Think about that. Who killed Malcolm X? Black people did. Who killed Martin Luther King? Black people did. Who killed Nipsey Hussle? Black people did. It wasn't white people. It was our own people. Black people killing black people. And then blaming it on the white man. It's so easy to blame stuff on white people. But it's not white people that's the problem. It's us who needs to change. It's us that's the problem. Instead of pointing the fingers at other cultures, at white people and Asian people and all this, we need to be pointing the finger at ourselves and get ourselves together. That's what we should be doing. And I'm still going to be YouTubing. It doesn't matter if I'm in Beverly Hills. It doesn't matter if I'm in Fifth Ward. I'm still going to be at my desk. I'm still going to be at my chair. And I'm still going to be spreading this message. I guarantee it. So on the same YouTube channel, you're going to see videos from my office in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills, and you're going to see in Fifth Ward. It doesn't matter. Well, Bill, I'm still going to be who I am. I'm not going to act like I'm conceited. But if you want to buy property and lots of land in Beverly Hills, and you're going to be able to live in Beverly Hills and places like that, then you need to get some government contracts. That's really where the money's come from. It's either you making money illegally, you're getting contracted illegally, or you're making money getting contracted legally. But they all revolve around contracts. And you can be rich either way, but I'd rather be rich and have contracts the right way. Government contracts the right way. Instead of doing illegal things. So you got to decide. These both revolve around contracts. You're going to do things illegally or going to do things legally. Illegally or legally. You got to decide which type of person. When you do things legally, sometimes it might take things longer. It might take things longer to resolve and to be able to move and make progress. And it takes a lot more gumption and a lot more energy. But in the long run, at least you don't have to worry about going to jail. Because guess what? This is just one finger pointing up, right? Guess what? Once you get arrested, that's it. That's it. There's no more contracts. You only get one chance. You don't get 3 chances. You only get one chance to make it. You only get one chance. See? One is because I'm young. 2, because I'm black. And then after one more strike, you're out. So being young and being black, that's already out. I can't do anything about that because I'm born black and I'm young. There's nothing I can do about that. But you only got one chance to make it. You only got one chance. You only got one life. Either do things legally or illegally. Either way can make you rich. Either way can take care of you. And they both revolve around contracts. It's just like saying, I make a lot of money being a hitman. Right? Killing people. Right? But again, you got to decide. Are you going to hang out with the wrong crowd and go to prison for a lifetime sentence? Or are you going to be a hitman and work for the government? Either way. Either way is bad to me, to be honest, and I hate to use that as an example. But if you're a hitman, right, would you rather get contracted with the wrong people that can make you money real fast? Or would you rather get contracted with the United States government and take out terrorists and things like that? It might be longer for you to be financially independent, but at least you're government contracted and you're doing things the right way. See, the people that killed Saddam Hussein, the terrorists that killed a lot of people, the people that killed Saddam Hussein were hired hitmen with the government. They didn't go to jail. I mean, that was more than 10 years ago, but I guarantee they banking now and they financially independent. But the people who are not government contracted, guess what? They going to jail. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't use that example because that's a tough position for some people to be in. You know? Would you rather be a gangbanger, a gangster? Or would you rather be a bounty hunter? I'd rather be a bounty hunter. They might not pay much as a hired hitman who's a gangster and a gangbanger, whatever. But at least a bounty hunter is government contracted, and I can be able to utilize that money and spread that money in different directions. As long as you put your money in the right places, you're going to be wealthy regardless. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But again, when you start investing, make sure you have some government contracted businesses. Make sure to have some government contracted businesses. And even though this little extra $50,000 is not enough right now, I can still put that money in the right places and let it grow. And I don't have to worry about going to jail because I'm doing things legally. And listen, like when I talk about stuff you don't understand, that it's for a specific group of people that's already in that situation that knows what I'm talking about. Because there's a lot of business people that's on their way to jail right now. There's a lot of business people that's rich that's on their way to jail because they don't see no other way out. You don't see no other way out. But I'm encouraging you to never give up, even if you lose your contacts, even if you lose your connections. God will provide a way for you out. The Bible says He'll always provide a way of escape. Don't give up. Doing the right thing is not the easy thing. Doing the right thing is not. I don't know who I'm preaching to today, but you made 6 or 7 figures or whatever the case might be, and you stuck. But don't give up. Doing the things the right way is not the easy way. Doing things the right way is not the easy way. But at least you won't have to suffer. It's not about how you start. It's about how you end. It's not about how you start. It's about how you end. If you start wrong, start correcting yourself. By the time you make it to the middle, by the time you make it to the bridge, that's when you need to start correcting yourself, because you want to make sure after you cross that bridge, you need to make sure you need to have a successful ending, because that your children's lives are at stake, your wives, your family's livelihoods is at stake. So you got to make sure before you make it to that ending, you got to make sure that you got your stuff together, that you got everything together. And again, it's not about how you start. Just because things are going well it doesn't mean things are going to end well. And I want to say that again. Just because things are going well, it doesn't mean that they're going to end well. That's real talk. I see people make that mistake all the time. They get stuck because they move away. They move away from God's protection. They move away from their life's purpose. They get stuck. They're so blind that they don't even know what their life's purpose is. Then they get blind. And then they try to go back. It's too late to go back now. You got to decide which type of person you want to be. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I made a post on Facebook, and I said, which person you want to be? You want to be the millionaire with a liability, or you want to be a millionaire with possibilities? I'd rather be a person with possibilities that can make great decisions, that don't have no burdens or anything holding me back. But if I'm a millionaire with liabilities, I'm just going to have more problems. You got to decide which type of person you want to be. You want to have liabilities or not? Oh, you're always going to have liabilities. No, you're not going to have liabilities if you make the right choices. Every choice you make is supposed to be an investment in your future. Every choice you make is supposed to be the right choice and the right investment for your future. And if not, then that means you haven't done your homework good enough, or you put in too much trust in the wrong people. It's real talk. Man, that's deep, man. That's why you really gotta know where your money's going to. Every single dollar, every single penny. You need to know where that money's going to, and you need to make sure that it's going in the right place. So, again, you got $1 million. It's supposed to be the solution. It's supposed to be full of possibilities, not liabilities. Full of possibilities and solutions to fix the problem, not liabilities to make the problem worse. And I don't know who I'm preaching to today, but again, if and I want to use this example. If you're in music, if you're a movie producer or music, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That staff that you hire, are they going to make you wealthier, or are they going to make you poor? That staff that you hire, are they going to be positive, or are they going to be negative? If they're a liability, you need to move them the hell out of the way. If you're a movie producer or a music producer, and if they negative, and if they full of liabilities, move them the hell out of the way. If your staff encourage you and bless you, and the imagination is full of possibilities, which solves problems. If they millennials, if they smart, if they know a lot about technology, and you don't know a lot about technology, then that's good. That's what you want your money to go towards. You want to invest towards people that invest in you. You don't want to invest towards people that don't invest in you. You want to invest towards people that got your back, not people that don't got your back. Because you shall be a tree planted by the rivers of water. That's what that Bible scripture means. You don't want, your millions of dollars supposed to be like a river of water, planting your tree and helping that tree to grow. Because in that tree, you got birds, you got living creatures. You got birds, you got eggs, you got squirrels. They all depend on that tree for that livelihood. And the animals, the squirrels, and the birds, that refers to wealth and money and investments. All living in that tree. And you got to decide. Are you gonna let all of that die? Are you willing to sacrifice to let some of that go so that tree can keep on growing? Are you willing to sacrifice? And I'm gonna change the subject. I'm gonna change an example. That's for some people that's having some tough decisions to make right now, especially in Hollywood. I want to go ahead and go to the next example. Like in Africa, in America, we've been trained to think that we're monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Or that we less. That's how the old society trained our grandparents. So our grandparents and parents can train us to be like that. No, I'm a lion. I guarantee it, I'm a lion. And you got to dominate. It's either, whoo, it's a big one right here. It's a big one right here. You're going to have to decide. Because I'm not willing to die for anybody. God has already died. Jesus has already been the sacrifice. There's no need for you to die for anybody. Jesus did that part. You don't need to sacrifice yourself for nobody. The only thing you need to be doing is dominating. Dominating territory. That's what a lion does. A lion dominates territory. That doesn't mean you have to kill somebody. Just dominate your territory. Whatever God has for you, God has for you. Don't let the devil steal it from you. There's ways to get things done without moving people out of the equation all the time. Because if you're always moving somebody out of the equation, it's going to keep on happening over and over and over and over, and it's going to be an unrepeated cycle. There's a lot of wealthy people that do things on the side that they have no business doing. And God is being patient with them. You don't need to always move people out of the equation just because they're on your turf, on your territory, and things are not going well the way you want it to go well. And I'm not just saying this in gangster life. I'm just saying this in business in general or in banking. Just because it feels like Wells Fargo's territory has been taken over by Chase and Bank of America, so what? Wells Fargo made a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of scams going on. A lot of customers got scammed, and Wells Fargo lost a lot of business, like they did 5 to 7 years ago. That's Wells Fargo's fault. That's their employees' fault, because they chose to hold on to those people that were liabilities, and that's why that tree is falling apart at Wells Fargo, because they chose to hold on to the liabilities instead of the possibilities. And the blessings. You gotta know who do you want to be on your table. If some people are not willing to change, you gotta let them go. You gotta know who's at your table. And that's what happened with Wells Fargo Bank. They did not know who was sitting at their table. And because they had the wrong type of people at their table, there was a lot of lawsuits. There's a lot of lawsuits. Some people say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." No, it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. You're not even at that level to even understand what I'm talking about. I have a cousin named Lowell who says sometimes he doesn't even know what he's talking about. No, it's not the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's that you haven't arrived to that level or that level of prosperity to even know what I'm talking about. If you don't even have your own bank, if a person does not even have their own bank, if a person does not even have their own bank, then they have no idea what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about trees and I'm talking about liabilities versus possibilities. When you're wealthy, and I'm just motivating some friends of mine that are billionaires. When you are a billionaire, you have to always look at possibilities and turn down the liabilities. Turn down the liabilities and always look at the possibilities. That's what billionaires are looking at. Like, for example, the owner of Tesla. He's turned down his liabilities in California and he's moving up his possibilities in Texas. Because Texas has more possibilities and more growth than California does. California is good for business and generating money. but it's not good for creating multiple possibilities. There's more land here in Texas, so therefore there's more possibilities. The owner of Tesla, Elon Musk, is rich enough to open up his own city. He can buy a lot of land and name the city Tesla City. And that will be full of possibilities versus him staying at the same level at Beverly Hills where there's not enough land and there's not enough possibilities. But if it was me, I would keep both. To be honest, I would keep both. I would keep both. I would keep the prosperity and the possibilities. I would turn my liabilities and the prosperity and keep that on that side, and then turn the possibilities and the prosperity on this side. I want to have prosperity on both my sides. I don't want to be. We got too many one-sided billionaires. That's why the economy is collapsing multiple times, because we got so many one-sided billionaires. And I'm not going to talk about Elon Musk because he's good people. He's good people. But we got so many billionaires that's one-sided right now. And I'm not trying to get off topic, but we got so many billionaires that's one-sided. That's the reason why the ecosystem is messed up. And that's the reason why there's blizzards. And that's the reason why a lot of people ran out of electricity, because we have all these billionaires who are one-sided, waiting until things wait until the last minute. You don't wait until the last minute. That's what my dad taught me. Do not wait till the last minute for things to happen. You need to tackle it. It's just like snow. One thing I learned about the East Side, about being in Massachusetts, you don't let snow grow, because the more you let it grow, the more you let it stay, the harder it is to get rid of. Because what's under that snow is black ice and white ice, and that stuff is hard to get rid of. Once that sun is out, tackle it then, and then you have less to worry about. Don't wait for things to happen. Tackle it while you still have the options. So there's supposed to be a second wave of a blizzard, and nobody and the news doesn't even know when it's coming. That's crazy right there. We have another blizzard coming, and nobody even knows when it's coming. They said it's supposed to be this week. They said it's supposed to be next week. But you don't know Mother Nature. Only God knows Mother Nature. You don't know Mother Nature. Don't always listen to what the news is saying, because the news don't even know what they talk about. Now, that's one thing I can say about people don't know what they're talking about. The news doesn't know everything they're talking about. That's why I spend more of my time investing and learning about business and getting in real estate and bank investing and stuff like that. That's what I like to learn about. Government contractors. This is what the things that I do, you should be interested in doing. Banking, investing, being a loan officer, giving out loans to people. And again, I'm going to say that again. Banking and investing. Learning how to establish your own bank and give out loans to people. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or a doctor. A lawyer, a doctor, a music producer, a movie producer. All of those people have to get into the lending and banking business in some point in time in their life, whether they're in their 20s or in their 50s. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a lawyer or a producer. All of those people are able to give out loans to people, and they're in banking in some form or fashion. So, since I was in my 20s and I barely made it to my 30s, that's what I learned about banking and investing and government contracts. I did that first. Then I decided to get in the military. And then after I got out of the military, then I got back in the government contracts and banking and investing. That's what it's all about. Because if your parents are not billionaires, guess what? You got to do this on your own. I want to say this again. If your parents are not billionaires, you have to do this on your own. Because your parents and your grandparents might not have the ability to be able to have the knowledge and the wisdom to start their own bank and give out loans to people and do banking and investing in government contracts. They might not have that ability to do that. So you have to learn how to do that on your own. Amen. Amen. The owner of Chase Bank, his grandfather was a pastor. He didn't know anything about banking and investing. So his son learned about banking and investing so he could take care of his dad's church. And then the owner of Chase Bank, which was the grandson, he learned about banking and investing and how to change the economy and make it a better place and create jobs. The grandfather was a pastor. He didn't know anything about that. But the grandson saved the country from being completely shut down. Y'all can look him up. He's the original owner of Chase Bank. The guy with the real tall guy with the big nose. Anyways, not trying to get off topic. But this is what you should be looking at. If me, I would be stuck still working a job. If me and my dad didn't start this business more than 10 years ago, I'd be stuck working a job right now. I'd be at my house. I would have trouble financially struggling with the electricity and the water right now. But because we chose to start a business a decade early, before this economic shutdown, before the economic shutdown, before the blizzard, and before the coronavirus. That's three things. I tried to tell y'all these things was happening. I'd be stuck working a job and stuck trying to pay my bills. But because we made the right decision and we decided to do things God way and move ourselves out the way, we blessed. We blessed. Might not be a billionaire, but at least we blessed. Not billionaire yet. I gotta correct myself. My family's we're already millionaires. My family's we're already millionaires. We already have a multi-millionaire family. We're already rich. I'm trying to be richer. I'm trying to be a billionaire. My godmother, my godfather, my family, my parents, they're already millionaires. I'm trying to be a billionaire. Screw being a millionaire. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the subject. Screw being a millionaire. Because guess what? Once that college is paid off, once those cars is paid off, once these houses are paid off, if they're not already paid off, guess what? That $1 million is gone. And you might be left with $25,000. Oh, don't forget, you still got to pay for your children's education, right? You still got to pay for your children's children. You got to pay for your grandchildren's education. Or hold on. We don't even want to go that far. Let's start with the basics. You got to pay for that wedding. You got to pay for that prom dress. You got to pay for that first car, right? You got to pay for all those football games and soccer games. You got to pay for all that. From the time they're born to the time they're a full-grown adult, that's $1 million nowadays. I guarantee. With the economy going up, the economy affects everything. People say, "Oh no, it's only going to cost me $50,000 or $200,000 to take care of that kid." No, it went up to $1 million, buddy. $1 million per child. So guess where that $1 million is going to go? It's going to be going. It's going to go to your children, and you won't have enough money to take care of yourself.